Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing IndyCar series here at Auto Club Speedway. And we are here at this beautiful 2-mile super oval, and I am excited to be here. It's IndyCar, it's Auto Club, it's time to have some fun. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Marco Bobanera, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
Oh yes, Austin, we are live and ready to go for the first big oval of the season here on the Open Series schedule, and it comes at round 6, which is basically the halfway point of the championship. First race of the week, of course, as per tradition. The standings, Adriano Pinheiro leads the way, 899 points in front of Alex van der Zandt. Adam Crane, a bit far away. Rashad Craig and Philip Cross round up your top 5. But, of course, many drivers have different race week. Remember, you get 4 drop weeks in the 12-week iRacing season, so while it's interesting to look at the points, it's still a bit too early. We will start, I think, Austin, factoring in maybe around the 8th-9th week of the championship, really, and we see where drivers stand with these drop scores. But Auto Club tonight, we have some big names returning. The first one of them I see at the top of the timing table for this qualifying. I was expecting him in my heart for this race, Marco Aurelio Brasil. A very, very quick driver from Brazil. We have seen him in the past on Apex Racing TV in the top split. Of course, everyone remembers that Indianapolis race. He's quick. He can be, let's say, very, very, very decisive when he wants to get the position, the job done. And of course tonight, here at Auto Club, these drivers, Austin, have plenty of space, especially from what we've heard from the Apex Academy data pack. Plenty of lanes, you should use them.
Plenty of lanes and plenty of spots to make that move and really find a spot for your car to actually be locked in, because well, this track is pretty much 3 lanes wide, 4 lanes wide, 5 lanes wide at times. And we're expecting a giant pack race here today as qualifying's over, and we're standing by with Marco on the grid.
Thank you, Austin. So starting first, of course, is Marco Aurelio Brazil, as we were saying a few moments ago. Adam Blocker for Power Slide is in second, in front of Connor Harrington, and the winner of the 2 oval races we had previously, Adriano Pinheiro, also from Brazil. Philip Kraus and Jesper Herman in 5th and 6th, in front of Lara Gerhardt and Chris Willight. Alexander Van de Zandt in 9th, and Andrew Wood, another name we are so happy to have him back. We remember him, and of course, a long-standing name in IndyCar here on iRacing. Andrew Wood, Rob Angelnix in 11th, and Robert Malechka, the 3rd, in 12th. Matt Hollybow is in 13th place, in front of Rashad Craig. Maybe it's better if I switch over. Tim Williams, Adam Crane, Eric Hunter, Andrew Marquez, Nagisa Yoshikawa, Kevin Bulosa in 20th place, Jason Wallet in 21st, Aaron McQuarrie in 22nd, and rounding up our 23 car grid, our biggest grid this season on the ovals, if I'm not mistaken, is David Graybill. We have a long pace lap, and of course we are starting old school from the pit road, already lined up 2 by 2. A quick look at the weather if we can. There we go, and it's a bit toasty. Yeah, see, Austin, I'm getting slowly American like you, saying toasty at the same time. 107 Fahrenheit, that's hot.
It really is. The air temperature at 65 degrees. The sun is beating down on this track, and it's also 78% humidity as well. That's going to be affecting the temperature and the running of these cars. So it's pretty humid. These cars are going to be really struggling. We do have a little bit of a gusty wind at 11 miles an hour, and that is going westward. So heading into turns 3 and 4 are going to be a little bit tricky heading into there. So we might see a few cars getting a loose right there as we head out onto the track right now in beautiful sunny California here in Fontana.
This was originally built as a sister track to the Michigan International Speedway, but they're not really similar, especially I think, Austin, as Brazil has a connection issue, not the best moment to have it, and sends panic all throughout the grid. Oh dear, he is back. Maybe, no?
Nope.
Okay, this is...
The radio chatters are letting Marco know about his issue, and with Marco being the race leader, if he blinks out and is blinking and dropping in and out, this might send a few chaotic black flags down the field right now. There's Marco back. Hopefully it all stays there for turns 3 and 4.
Let's stay on Adam for the start.
Let's stay on the 9-time IndyCar Open champion Adam Blocker. So we'll be starting on that outside line as Marco, I think, might be heading into the pit lane immediately. But the pace car is in. Lights are off. It is time to go green, green, green here at Auto Club Speedway for the Entity IndyCar Open Series. And it's a great start by Marco Brazil. Adam Blocker comes in right behind, followed by Harrington, Pinheiro, Kraus, Gerhardt, Orhan, Van de Zandt, Will Height, and Wood. Your top 10. Adam Blocker currently in the air quote lead if Marco Brazil just got disconnected right there. Goes down to the inside to block from Harrington. Harrington going on to the outside right now. It's a drag race trying to hold it around the outside, but Blocker down to the inside. Still that inside line being much tighter and everything as they're still side by side and battling.
And I mean, I'm so scared because if Brazil comes back immediately, we know iRacing has some sort of protection bubble over blinking cars, but of course when you're doing these speeds you might have to change your line immediately. He came back for a second. This has to be incredibly distracting for these drivers, Austin.
Oh, if you can hear the driver's chat right now, it is the most scared sound I've heard of some of these drivers. They're saying Marco's Brazil is flying upside down like a, well, low-hanging jet fire. As a big hit of spark came off of the blinking car. But this is a big charge. Brazil stuck on the outside. Here comes the Adam Blocker down to the inside. It looks like everything's already... This is the most time that Brazil's actually spent on track. Blocker down to the inside. Harrington down to the inside as well. That's Connor Harrington actually in the lead. And that's Tim Williams heading into the pit lane as well as Eric Hunter.
Yeah, we stay green. We had a couple of cars we were seeing them as crashed. They seem to be okay. But also a big bit of a mess here with 3 wide with Willite Van de Zandt. Oh dear, and also Andrew Wood. A lot of stuff to look at right now, and we still go back to the front stretch, and it's Brazil back in the lead. So if you spin in the front stretch and if you spin on the back stretch, Austin, chances are the caution is not going to come out. Plenty of real estate on both sides. Here comes Harrington once again.
Yeah, if you stop outside of the white line, the caution will not automatically come out here at Auto Club. So if you do spin and if you get it to the inside of the track and the car gets stopped, we saw this at National actually, where the caution was prevented from coming out a few times, as this is Marco fighting back for the lead with Connor Harrington stuck on the outside. And you get to see that multiple lined groove of the track actually working. It is, as we ride on board with Sean Craig, look at everybody's taking all these different lines through turns 1 and 2. The cars get really loose throughout this race. But Auto Club has been so favorable for the Indy cars here, especially in this IR18 platform, that everyone just has that balanced performance, and everybody's just, as caution has come out right now.
Bulassa.
Oh, it's Kevin.
Just as Brazil disappeared and reappeared.
Oh.
Okay, it was...
Oh, no!
The Michele Costantini crash. Those that know it, know it.
Yeah, it's also the Oliver Askew Indy 500 crash as well.
Oh, that was David Graybill, the other car that was involved in the crash. Let's see a better angle of it.
Yeah, Graybill and Kevin are side by side right here. Here is the view from David Graybill just on the outside. Just gets tapped from behind. Boom. Wheels off, bets are off, into the wall. There goes the nose cone. And the rear wheel is also out, and caution is out. And oh, this is just... Did he aim for that?
I don't know, but that looked very painful. By the way, Brazil is... I tell you what, I was saying something about this just before the caution came out, Austin. Sometimes you risk losing a lap if you keep blinking in and out, especially if you don't get recognized by the system as going through the scoring loop. Now, Marco seems to be still on the lead lap, maybe because you cannot give yourself a drop to the end, of course, so maybe he doesn't see the other drivers. He's going very, very slowly. If he wants to go to the back, he needs to enter the pits and go for a pass-through. But now, if he's been scored in the lead, this will prevent a lot of drivers from pitting. So... And,
ooh, Alex van der Zandt, well, playing the games of the pit road. But everybody, it's this early on in the race. Are you going to be heading into the pit lane for this get fueled up on fuel and not take tires? We're going to have to see, as here's another replay.
And I'm trying to see where Marco was when the caution came out. He was still nowhere, and then he reappeared.
Right,
maybe
about there.
Yeah, so sort of. So I don't know where he was scored. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Certainly now goes to the back, and he's going to... I mean, a difficult race to begin with for him and for everyone around him. But certainly this is not helping the cause together with the connection. Car seems to be okay.
There might be a storm in Brazil, as asking in chat right now, because it seems like his connection has actually stalled out just a bit, but we'll find out very soon if he's able to stay in this race. David Gabriel, Kevin Bohalasa, and Eric Hunter still in the
let's
pit
go.
lane. Tim Williams has gotten back out there on
Let's
track.
go and look at the earlier crash, the one I tried to catch, but it went so quickly. I think it was Eric Hunter, as you were saying. Oh! So something must have gone very badly here. And he was already in the wall. Very difficult to pinpoint the moment. Let's see here. So he was running...
there's another car in the wall behind him as well.
That
did
should
he
be...
get tapped by the 14?
That was Tim Williams that went into the wall earlier. And... oh,
yeah,
there we go.
14 came off the track. Bam! Giant body right there.
Lights are out on the iRacing official pace car, the new and improved... well, it's not really new, it's been out for quite a while, first caution of the night. We were talking about fuel saving in the beginning, Austin, and of course this caution is a bit early, but maybe it will help these drivers a lot, especially not only the drivers at top tap, of course, but also the drivers who are just running around saving fuel. Maybe won't change this race from a 2.5 stopper, so to speak, to a 2 stopper, but it's going to now it's pointing the race towards this 2 stop that we may be able to see, especially if we get another caution later and the guys will be able to run in the draft of the other competitors. It's a long race, it's 200 miles.
It is a really long race, 200 miles, 100 laps. They're averaging about 0.46 gallons a lap around here as everybody staying under caution. But yeah, the more time they spend in the draft, the better that they will have on the fuel numbers. It's really going to be a strategy game here. So we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers on this first stint really try to stretch out this fuel tank as much as they can to try to get them in line with a better ending. Pace cars in, and Connor Harrington is away as we go back to green flag racing here at Auto Club Speedway. Great start by Harrington. Blocker right behind Pinero in third. And Philip Kraus is already trying that outside line, switching around, trying to find that groove on this opening lap. And then it's all Indy cars everywhere trying to stay in their groove right here. They're all being led by the 9-time IndyCar champion Adam Blocker as he takes the lead. Connor Harrington in that private label car. Going down to the inside of Blocker as they're swapping the lead between themselves, and I think they might be working with each other and just trying to pull out a gap to everybody else. Pinero is losing ground to Kraus as Kraus is up onto his inside in the fight for third place.
And at the switching position, you see, we were expecting some pack racing, and look at that, Blocker and Harrington pulled away at the start, but now, despite the fighting between Cross and Pinero, they are coming back. Here comes also Andrew Wood and Jesper Herman, who's making his debut in the series, at least in the broadcast race, sitting a comfy 6th place in front of Van de Zandt, who goes out searching for that high side. On the inside, we have Laura Gerhardt and Chris Wilhite. And then Hollybow and Rashad Craig are having a little bit of a discussion over 10th place. It reminds me a little bit of some like All-American Racers livery from Matt Hollybow there on the top. Very nice livery.
Very nice.
Philip Cross watching as Adam Blocker dives to the inside and gets back into first place. See, Cross is trying to stay outside of the dirty air. This track is beautiful because of this. You can really go wide and take multiple lines. You don't want to ruin your tires, of course, and makes turning a bit easier. And still, Philip Cross staying very, very high. We were talking about the difference between this and Michigan, of course, despite being based on the same project, basically. The big difference, I think, is in the tarmac. This racetrack here, Austin, is baked in the California sun, whilst, Michigan weather,
slow
Brooklyn,
roasted
Michigan,
in the
yeah, it's a bit
slow
different.
roasted in the Michigan sun. Tracks based on their location, always have a little bit difference to them. As Philip Kraus, it doesn't seem like he's saving fuel at all. He just storms down the inside right on the tail of Harrington, and he's really comfortable in the draft. His car setup is really good. And, well, the cars get looser, but Philip Kraus, he wants to take a shot at the lead. Down to the inside into turn 3. Philip Kraus, your new leader in that 3. And that 3 looks a lot like Dale Earnhardt's 3.
Taking his teammate with him as they are now trying to, I wouldn't say swap draft because they are so compact. On board with Andrew Wood here sitting nicely in 4th. Also you can see very clearly on the tarmac these different lines, similar to what we used to see at Atlanta back in the day. Now Atlanta is going to be repaved, of course.
Yeah, repaved and remodeled.
Whilst, of course, Michigan has been repaved fairly recently and also available. This place, of course, as we all know, not going to look like this in the future.
And looking down the inside right here is back to Connor Harrington, as these drivers are starting to have a little bit of a train in the back straight, and then they're going into a pack in these turns as everybody's trying to stay in the draft, but not too much into the draft, middle of the corner to get as much clean air as possible, as Kraus goes back down to the inside. And you know, this type of pack racing is very unique to Auto Club, especially in these IndyCars. You don't really see this anywhere else, as most of the other tracks where you try to have multiple different lines is not really going to work. As let's ride on board of Marco Brazil, as it looks like all of his connection issues are still going on.
You were about to say that they were fixed, and then you jinxed him massively, of course. And look at that.
There is a storm in this area. We did look at the radar. There is a storm. And
here comes Pinheiro, by the way, down the bottom, out of mostly nowhere, I would say. He's been sitting there or thereabouts, but look at Matt Olibo, +6, just like Andrew Wood. And he's coming back very quickly now, sitting very close to the back of Alex van der Zandt. They have a lapped car in the middle. That's Van der Zandt, apologies. And they're still swap drafting for the lead, of course, but cannot get away. Adam Blocker is still glued to the rear end as we enter lap 20 out of 100 here from Auto Club. Thank you for joining us. Round 6, the midway point of the championship from Auto Club Speedway, the entity IndyCar Open Series of iRacing on Apex Racing TV. This is going to be a fantastic race. Great pack racing. I know a lot of drivers don't like it, but it's certainly exciting. And of course, let's kick in some strategy later with the green flag pit stops, hopefully. It's going to be a fantastic one, this race, Austin.
It is, and you don't get this anywhere else. 3 wide.
Oh, man.
Adam Blocker, he's seen that inside and outside. 4.2K strength of field here today. 3 wide, heading out of turn 2 onto the back straight at full throttle at 222 miles an hour, almost heading into 230 miles an hour on the front straight, as everybody is in that draft now. But man, they are taking the inside of the corner, they're taking the outside of the corner, they're taking the middle line of the corner, trying to find the best work for their setup. And you know, going into this race, they did know that the track was going to be hot, but you know, throughout the race they might be making some wing adjustments, adjust the weight jacker as well to give the tires a little bit more give, because I see cars starting to get a little bit more loose into these corners. So we take lap 23, and I believe we should start seeing some pit stops very soon. As let's right on board of Pinheiro. See, he takes that outside line right behind Blocker. Blocker comes up, Pinheiro goes down low. Pinheiro's got the overspeed right there. Pinheiro at 230 miles an hour, having a drag race with Adam Blocker heading into turns 3 and 4.
Adriano Pinheiro, winner at Phoenix, winner at Nashville, the 2 ovals we had before this one.
Oh, Pinheiro, bad line through there.
and he is racing for the Corinthians Esports club. Of course, Corinthians, as I say, one of the most prestigious football clubs in Brazil, and they are, of course, they encompass many different sports, of course, football being the most famous, and they are expanding into esports, and Timão is the nickname of the football club, and basically it means the rudder with which you control a ship, basically. That's what Timão means, because it's the logo of the club, of course.
As Kraus staying ahead of Harrington, and look at around the outside. Look who's slowly going up the field, and it's Andrew Wood back there in third, as Adam Blocker is still falling back there. Still staying back there in fourth, as that's Connor Harrington down to the inside. Harrington up into the lead. Once again ahead of Philip Kraus, as the two teammates are starting to work together some more, and starting to pull out a gap on everybody else. It's a very minor gap, but they are really going to be trying to work together and maximize fuel efficiency here.
Robert Maleshka the third in the draft of Rashad Craig, but he has a company on the inside with the Canadian Adam Crane. He dives down low, tries to get also the jump on Craig, doesn't work, but Adam Crane +6 for him as well, trying to come back from less than stellar qualifying effort. And these moves they're making, Austin, they're going to become more and more difficult as the cars...
look up ahead. 3 wide once again, and I think we're almost 3 wide right here. But Crane and Craig side by side, wheel to wheel at 230 miles an hour. I know a few people get extremely nervous from driving on the highway wheel right side by side with somebody, especially if you're next to a semi like that. Well, try doing that at 230 miles an hour. That's absolutely insane driving, as Adam Blocker gets right back up to the gearbox of Connor Harrington, and he just lifts off. Blocker is very comfortable in that third spot as we are approaching lapped traffic up ahead.
Should be, well, Brazil goes a lap down right now, because I think Brazil has parked his car, unfortunately.
That's Gabriel.
And caution is out.
Caution's out. I think that might have been Gabriel just slowing down. Oh, well, it was Gabriel slowing down, but not the way that he intended. He was going to the bottom of the track, and he's hit the bump on the bottom of the track as everybody goes around, and he spins it again. So, well, I believe we're going to be seeing our first set of pit stops right here. But yeah, there's a bump at the bottom of the track. You run that bottom line. He was off the throttle, off the speed, trying to let everybody around the outside of him, and well, spun the car right there as a very unfortunate move, a very unfortunate situation. But now we're going to be seeing everybody go back onto a level playing field. They're all going to have to go into the pits on lap 29.
Yes, those mechanics should better be ready, because everyone is coming in, I guess. Save it from the blimp, and everyone is going, no exceptions. Gotta be careful, of course. The cars are collidable as they enter the pits, and they become then transparent as they come out of their pit stall. Gotta be careful not to have any kind of infringement, because it's going to be costly end of line penalty in case of speeding in the pits, or unsafe pit entrance or unsafe pit exit. And here we go. Not the greatest of stops for Kraus. He stopped a bit sideways.
He stopped a bit sideways, locked up the brakes going in there. At a blocker, look how he's positioned. But Kraus gets in to his pit stop, comes out. The race off pit road is going to be to Kraus, as Harrington almost challenged him right there. Andrew Wood and out of blocker. I believe Wood just got him by the nose. And I think Blocker is just giving him the benefit of the doubt. But I think it did go to Blocker right there. Very tight race off pit road. But Philip Kraus came in as the leader, exited as the leader, followed by Harrington, Blocker, Wood, Pinero, Alex Van der Zandt, Jesper in 7th, followed by Matt Allabout and Robert Blakis III in 9th place, followed by Chris Wilhite in 10th.
Yeah, this should be your starting order when we go back to green in a bit. As per usual, big thanks to SDK Gaming, providing us with these beautiful graphics that you see on the stream. And of course, with SDK Gaming, you can use it for many different things, including, as we were saying, broadcasting. You can link up what the broadcaster is watching to what the commentators are watching, and everyone is on the same cameras, sees the same graphics, so you are guaranteed everyone is talking about the same things. But it can also be used as an in-race overlay when you are driving, and you can customize it, have all sorts of information, track map, fuel calculator, whatever you want, and of course iRating gain, iRating loss, hopefully iRating gain. You can use it in metric system, in imperial system, all the things you want, real-time gaps, track maps, everything and more. Highly customizable. sdk-gaming.co.uk for more informations. I think we are getting ready to not get back to green because those lights... Oh, the lights are off. My apologies. I'm still used to the, half an hour long cautions on iRacing back in the day.
Half-hour long cautions are a thing in the past, and I just gotta say one thing. I'm going over a few of the drivers' Twitch channels that I was able to find. Connor Harrington, I'm on his view, and I wanted to see on how much fuel he's averaging right there. He's cleverly put a black box on the line of his fuel, and I'm trying to see on how much he's averaging.
Austin.
Everyone's secret. Everyone is secretive about that, but as they line up, it's green, green, green. Back here at Auto Club Speedway, Philip Kraus, Connor Harrington, and Adam Blocker, your top three, followed by Wood Pinero and Verdesant. As we get back going to green flag racing here at Auto Club. Here comes Harrington down to the inside of Kraus, immediately getting into the lead as Pinero sticking to that outside line, and the way he's got that car set up is really favoring that outside line. And hey, whatever works best for you is really how you want it to go, as the battle for the lead still going side by side. Kraus goes back into the lead as, this line by Pinero is actually working pretty well for him.
Matoli in the back.
It's not as intensive on the tires right there, as this is Matt. They're going to go almost 3 wide right there as Chris Wilhite. It's not a Chris Wilhite. Big crash coming out turn 4 into the tri-oval.
And we have a caution. Wow, we were running on board with Chris, and there was contact between, I think, Rashad Craig and Matt Olibo, and that is what caused our third yellow of the day. There we go.
They were 3 wide into that corner. Coming up the track. He just got pushed up wide right there. The car just went high. Rashad Craig. That's kind of the risk you run in that middle line, that bottom line as well. As Chris Wilhite, I don't believe. Yeah, that car's not supposed to be running like that. The front left wheel, is that front left wheel on the car or off?
I think it's for me on my screen. It's bouncing.
Yeah, same thing for me as well, but it doesn't look like it's really actually affecting the car. So I believe on his screen he's got all 4 wheels and is getting that into the pits.
Looking to find Rashad, and his car got back to normal state with the iRacing gods. But important to look at this right now is the floor and the side pod, and he's using a camo paint scheme, but it seems like his car is okay, at least from here. Maybe the front wing.
also an update. Marco Brazil has did disconnect from the server and reconnect. Windows 11 probably was his suspicion.
So I will just give my pearl of wisdom when the new Windows system comes out. It's just this. As you know, an older user that has been through 95, 98, etc. Only upgrade your Windows if you absolutely need to, if there is a feature that you cannot live without. Otherwise, you know, if it's working on Windows 10, you know, don't touch it. That's the golden rule that many a technician has told me over the years. If you don't need to upgrade, and honestly, I mean, I don't know what everyone is doing with their system, but I don't think that Windows 11 has, I don't know. Let's say Windows 11 makes coffee automatically, then in that case, yes, I would upgrade. But right now, especially you know, when we are doing broadcasting, etc., or sim racing for that matter, you don't want any bad surprises. So Chris Wilhite is running into the pits. So his wheel seems to be okay. Now we need to see the suspension, of course, and the side pod, because it got a pretty big whack there. But I think his car is
it looks all right.
Yeah, maybe a bit of side pod damage, but maybe that's just the livery. Of course,
we're gonna see that other side right there as we try to, but you know. And we are back here for the Apex, here on Apex Racing TV for the NTT IndyCar Series. Sorry about that. You know, we make this joke about Italian front wings and all that stuff when anything just fails. I think we just had some Italian electronic failure right there. Or, as Tim suggests, Marco accidentally updated to Windows 11.
I didn't. Apologies for the technical difficulty. We are back with 45 laps on the record. Harrington leading the way, but it's getting pretty crowded up front here.
It really is. Everyone is really tightly packed together as they continue to race honestly right on board of Adam Blocker as he goes onto the move of Pinero, onto the inside of Wood, well, he tried to go onto the inside of Harrington, but Harrington held him off right there. There goes Wood around the outside, and that outside line seems to be the fastest place around here because you get all that overspeed and the draft benefits if you just stay on the outside. But, you know, if you get that overspeed down onto the inside line, everything just seems to work your way right here as Harrington still leads out the field, who just seems to have the car as well as Philip Kraus to really lead out everybody, but do they have the strategy to win this race?
That is a super interesting question you're posing, Austin. And the two things are, you know, not it is not a given, of course. You can have the faster car, but how will it work against maybe a big run coming from the back? Look at that, Adam Blocker using the draft, and we have seen how powerful the draft has been today.
You want to get really technical? You want to see different setups and how these guys have their cars set up? Let's take a look at the rear wing of Adam Blocker compared to Pinheiro, because they are running different rear wing configurations. Look at that little bump on the eye and the other eye. Pinheiro's running a gurney flap.
Oh yeah.
A very small gurney flap compared to Adam Blocker, who is not. Pinheiro has a car that is set up specifically designed to run in traffic, as Adam Blocker has that car to be as slippy as possible. Harrington and Kraus also have that rear wing set up like that as well. But there are different setups out here and different cars set up to be run different ways. And I believe the top four are all set up to be as slippy as possible. Pinheiro being, well, Pinheiro's really playing the game that he knows that he's going to be in the traffic for most of this race, so he wants to be as comfortable. But the top four, all in that super draft package.
Look at that from Blocker.
And once again into the draft, down the inside, but now that outside line is going to storm past him as Adam Blocker trying to keep that car into control right there. Falls back in line behind Wood. As there's Adam Crane. As Robert looked out to the inside of Crane and got back into the draft. But it's always great to see here in the IndyCar Series where you can really spot those small details on what everyone's running. And that small little gurney flap is always a big indicator on what type of race you're expecting from here.
Halfway home in this race, lap 51 has just started.
Yeah, everybody went into the pits on lap 29. After that caution, we got Tim Williams on the bottom of the track, just letting everyone by on the back straight, and he's going to get back up to speed.
I think that was Brazil.
Andrew, that was Brazil.
So yellow car, unmistakable. But it was, you know, we were going very fast, so
yeah, we're going very fast. Look at the eyes right there; it's gone. Andrew Wood, we ride on board with right now, and please tell me you see his helmet. You don't.
Not from this position, no. Plus.
Well, no, I actually got the paint back on. It's wooded.
That is perfectly in character for him as Pinheiro goes past Blocker. And still the two leaders, it's not even news right now. Two teammates going side by side.
Adam Blocker once again just going down the inside, but he's just trying to get past Pinheiro, and actually Pinheiro's got past him. That outside line is looking a lot more favorable now to keep everything up, as once again Blocker goes down low. Alex Vanderzant using that low line as well. But Blocker, as he keeps going down to the inside, is really hurting his position. But Pinheiro, that outside line, he's been running a lot more consistent out there, and his car is a lot more comfortable in the draft. He doesn't have to fight the car a lot, and you know, his car might not be as loose as Blocker's car and these leaders might be. So tire wear might become an issue with these drivers up at front.
And also, of course, the more cars you have in front of you, the more they fan out, the more dirty air, because you have, of course, less places to go when you're following. See, look at this. They are one up, one down, one middle.
Yeah, they're three wide.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are the fifth car in line following a little bit of a distance, you don't know where to go.
That is Adam Blocker, as he goes down to the inside once more, as we go three wide for the lead mid-corner, as everyone's taking these different lines. But that outside line train is really going to be where you want to be if you want to keep everything in the golden zone. And that's what Pinero's car is set up to do. Everyone else is just fighting for position. Blocker goes back outside. Here comes Pinero down low. Pinero, championship leader, down the inside now, doing what Adam Blocker has been doing to him. Let's see how Adam Blocker fares on the outside line.
Oof.
Easy as pie. Pinero actually came up there, had to get off the throttle, and now Pinero's going to fall down to Alex van der Zandt, who's going to swing by on the outside line.
And that wall coming outside of 4, the more you go deep into the run, the more it becomes like a magnet. It really calling for your car. And that's why we see these drivers coming out of 3 and 4, and then their car suddenly they push high. You really want a grip that is not there, so gotta pay. And we've seen already, of course, a couple of crashes there coming out of turn 4 as Adam Crane fighting with Jesper Herman and Robert Maleska the third. Behind them is Andrew Marquez as they almost come to blows there. Maleska and I think Crane himself as they go 1 up, 1 down. Coming out of 2. In turn 2 you have this issue of the car pushing out, you have it a lot less, but I will be surprised if we don't see someone hit the wall hard coming out of 4, even in this lead pack towards the end of the race.
Indeed, and now it's just, well, we go back to that talk of fuel strategy on how long these guys are going to go on this tank of fuel. As let's get a little mull inside of the cars right now. They are running about 5.8 gallons of fuel right there. That number was taken from Connor Harrington as he goes down to the inside and back to the lead right now. And everyone's really running that 5th gear as this is Yoshikawa is going slow.
Maleska and Herman. And Marquez, apologies. No, Norman. See, I should have stuck with the first thing I said. Oh, careful there. You see how much he pushed high, and that was turn 2. Imagine what can happen in turn 4. Jesper Herman, there we go. Down the hill goes Maleska the third. Herman stays in a bit of a middle ground.
Yeah, 40 laps to go here, as everybody is still fanning out, trying to find their better line and really committing to their race strategy, as it's Kraus back into the lead. Rob Ungelnex down there in 12th had a big lift coming out of turn 2 to avoid the wall, as he's got a good view of everybody out in front of him, going 2-3 wide and into these corners. And you know, if you're back here, you're really struggling with that dirty air, just getting rolled over these cars and really messed up all over the place. Back to our leaders, Andrew Wood on that outside line. Watch him with a bit of overspeed. Are we going to see Andrew Wood try to go down to the inside and try to take Harrington? No, we are not, but we're seeing Harrington on Kraus once more, as this has become kind of a ritual thing between these two. Every straight, first we have a car into the pits. That's David Gabriel heading into the pit lane. But yeah, every straight, it's Kraus and Harrington swapping positions. And well, I know how most series like to promote how many lead changes there were in this race. We might have 2. Oh my gosh, massive crash. That's van der Zandt into the wall. Hard crash into the wall on the exit of turn 4.
Alex van der Zandt went
he got below the white line.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
I think the back end might have snapped out on him. See, he's running on the ball. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the back end did step out and then hard into the wall. Luckily, nobody else got into him. But that is a very disastrous crash for Van der Zandt, but a very thankful crash if you're one of the leaders, because they're running on 3.6 gallons right now. And, hey, this race is going to be very hard to win right now on strategy, but I do believe we do have one more stop left.
Let's see if they're going to take it now, or if they're going to wait. I think they are. You know, it makes sense because you don't want to be left out if the race then goes green all the way to the end, no? If you don't stop right now. Plus, with all tires, who knows what might happen. We saw that. I thought for a second that Alex touched the white line, and of course we can see different things depending where we are in the
His
world.
back end went out.
But he didn't.
He did touch the white line.
Do you think he
did?
didn't? He didn't. I don't think. You know, we see different things, of course. You know, so plus, you know, I'm getting older. That's why I'm about to go into hibernation. Therefore, I'm not extremely reliable on this. Everybody is in. Let's see if Kraus still stopping sideways. Apparently, this is not a problem.
I mean, it's not a problem. You get into your box faster. You get everything all set up. First car to get out of the pit lane is actually in the pit box. Would actually be Andrew Wood. It's going to be Kraus, Harrington, Blocker, Wood, Pinero. But looking at the times, look at Andrew's Wood. Andrew's Wood in box time was 8.6 seconds. Adam Blocker had 8.05. So this was very, very crucial. And let's ride on board of Alex Vander Zandt as a replay on how we got underneath yellow and got down low to that very unprogressive banking, and at the end he was below the white line, but you know, the track at the bottom of the bottom of the banking is lower banked than the top end, and the back end just got caught out right there. Unfortunate end. And Alex is has joined us in the chat. He said he was good to the end and he just got loose. Progressive banking. Unfortunate end for Alex. He was doing very well up there, and you hate to see it.
And of course, no disrespect to Alex, but I have to say, this kind of track really highlights the beauty of the new damage model there. That crash looked absolutely real, with all the bits and pieces flying about. Of course, you never want to be the on the receiving end as Brazil gets his wave around. He is around 12 laps down, I guess. Trying to finish the race. He is 12 laps down. And this means, of course, if he's getting the wave around, it means that this is the lap we go back to green. And if we don't have any cautions, we should be going all the way to the end, Austin. And let's see. It seems to me like Blocker, Wood, Pinheiro. Be careful of Adam Crane, now up to 6th after the pit stops. It seems to me like they can get and can break Kraus and Harrington swap drafting, but they don't just want to do that. And of course, once you do that, you also need to have a plan, of course, because it's still working 2 against 1, in this case, the 2 teammates. So it's going to be interesting to see how long will Blocker, Wood, and Pinheiro and the others wait before they play their cards out. And if that is going to be, you know, enough, or if Kraus and Harrington can still maintain in the leadership of the race, if they have it planned better. Interesting finale to the race we are about to witness.
It really is going to be a very interesting end to this race. We're on lap 66. We're about to start lap 67 as we are back to green. Philip Kraus jumps the field. Pinheiro gets a very slow start as the top 4 get back to full throttle. Green flag racing, and everybody on a full tank of gas. As I'm trying to do some math in my head about the fuel numbers, I don't believe they could get to the end. As Adam Crane gets into the draft, Pinheiro swings it down to the inside. Pinheiro's been favoring that outside line all day today, and that outside line has been very dominant for him, even with that more drafty car. Holds it around the outside of Adam Crane and stays in P5.
Oh, 3 wide
for the lead. It's Kraus, Blocker, and Harrington. Kraus back into the lead. Adam Blocker going to try to get his way into the lead as well, and they got Andrew Wood right behind him. They're side by side. This is looking more like a pack race than an IndyCar race at all. Hey, let's try it once more. 3 wide again. All the way to the bottom goes Adam Blocker. trying to get the overspeed out of that corner. Kraus on the outside as well. Here comes Harrington trying to hold around to the outside even as well. Harrington's backed out. Pinero goes on to the outside of Wood. Blocker still onto the inside of Kraus here. Still side by side. And oh, Pinero almost got into the wall right there. Everything seems to be ship shape. And look at this run that he's got on Wood. Here comes Pinero down to the inside. Kraus onto the inside of Blocker. Kraus back into the lead.
I think Blocker has had enough. He went for it. Got the lead for a bit. He's trying to break this game, and now, of course, everyone is piling in. Look at that, with also Horman coming in with Crane and Andrew Wood. I mean, anyone out of these 7 guys can win, but I also say we know IndyCar. We could have other drivers jump in and bring home the trophy tonight. Oh!
Jump in. This time by Blocker below the white line. Harrington went to Blocker. Blocker not giving up any spot. He's like, I want that spot. I want it now. I will go below the white line to even do it. And he's got that position. And now Kraus back into the lead. Almost gets into the side of Wood, who's also trying to sneak there down to the inside. We're back to 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. And I hope you're having fun, because we are right now. And I'm looking at some of these drivers' Twitch streams, and they're having a smile on their face.
Careful, because Wood is really pushing that bottom line. Again, need to be careful of touching the white line, getting loose. Of course, you have a bit of... Oh, here comes Blocker again. He loves that inside. Full wide for the lead, Austin.
Oh,
this is
my
amazing.
gosh.
What a fantastic race. These guys are not pulling any punches.
Not pulling any punches, giving it all the punches and the elbows and everything. Kraus way down to the inside. Crane up there in the third. That 4 wide has probably opened up a few eyes. This is IndyCar racing as we go to lap 73 with 38 laps remaining. And looking at this lap count, we are not going to make it to the end of this race on this tank of fuel. We will see somebody dive into the pits, and somebody just did. Pinero is in the pit lane.
Here we go. So Pinero is in, and here they are still
So
fighting.
4 wide again. We're 4,
Oh, man.
almost 4 wide. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Crane
Wood
is
has
slow
been
on
boxed.
top, right in front of Wood.
Kraus is slow on the bottom. Wood was boxed in up high, so he couldn't make any move. Cooler heads prevailed, as I predicted. Adam Crane has really turned it loose, and now sitting in 2nd place. And we see, of course, now Pinero is hoping that they remain green, even though he is having quite a long stop. Austin, this is not a regular stop, or has he got a penalty? This is not good for him.
Yeah, it might be a penalty as well, but Pinero into that pit lane. It looked to be strategy-wise, but it could have been worse for Pinero. We really have to find out after this, but that is pretty much Pinero's race over right there as he goes a lap down. Harrington and Blocker side by side. Harrington on the inside, Blocker on the outside. Blocker, we know how Blocker runs. He's gonna go.
Man, there was nothing between Harrington and Blocker there entering turn 3. I don't know how they survived.
Oh, this is awesome. My face hurts. It's been smiling too hard right now. And Pinero's just been released for the pit lane, so I believe it was
we have a problem
damage,
and a
but
caution.
Caution is out, and that's a big crash. Unglenex is into the wall, and 25 laps to go.
He's not the only one with issues.
Rashad Craig involved.
That is Rashad Craig. Good spot, Austin.
Craig gets it parked onto the inside of the track, but with Pinero in the pit lane, it doesn't give him the lucky dog. It gives him a lap down, but here's what happened. Rashad Craig was behind it, and
maybe this was a bit too early, this replay, so apologies for that.
We get a good run up here, and you're gonna see what's happening up in front. Everybody really fighting for positions, and look at that car right above Laura's. This is where it happens, and I think it might be the same issue that Vanderzant had.
So my guess, yeah, Angelnieks has a
Runs
problem.
slow, back end, even just like Van der Zandt, back end comes out right into Craig. Craig, nowhere to go, caution out. Exactly the same incident as Alex had. Runs that bottom line.
Oh, no, he went
and
below.
just went. Yeah, he went that below the white line right there, and hard impact. He was defending from Laura Gerhardt, and well, he was trying everything to keep her behind it. And
Oh, this is interesting.
spicy decision by Connor Harrington. Can we get an instant replay of heading into the pit lane? Because that might have choked a few people up, but we have 5 cars not pitting. And watch Connor Harrington. Blocker goes in, Adam Crane goes in, here comes Harrington. He decides to go out, and then Phil Cross was deciding, I don't know if I should, I don't know if I can. And then everybody else behind them has gone out there. Well, we got 5 cars staying out. Harrington, Kraus, Orman, Marquez, and Yoshikawa. And then it's Blocker, Crane, Wood, Malikules, McGuire, Gerhardt, Wilhite, Willette, and Ungelnex in the pit lane. Andrea Pinero, who was a lap down now. Well, he stayed out because he actually has enough fuel. But now this
He's 3 laps down.
Yeah,
So,
he is 3 laps down due to his penalty.
Either a penalty, Austin, or he had to pit for side pod damage, which we didn't catch live. He was really liking that outside line a lot earlier. But we don't know if you know, if our kind viewers know, then please let us know, because the action was I mean, understandably crazy. So actually,
Yeah,
I tell you what, let's see Adriano entering pit road, and we will see if he got a penalty or if it was for damage.
My bet's on a penalty.
Car looks okay, but that doesn't seem
Penalty.
fast enough. Maybe he got a penalty, I don't know if at the restart.
He might have passed a car on the restart. No, I was watching that restart.
Yeah, see, it seems to be okay.
He didn't
Yeah.
pass anyone. I think it... I don't know. Only
Nice.
Pinero knows.
Yeah, once again, let me say a big thanks to all of our viewers, and not only watching, but also having a nice debate in the chat about the strategies. They are not sure that Harrington and Kroos can, and
I just did the
Herman,
math.
Marquez, and Yoshikawa. Yeah, Austin, let's go with the magical Austin maths, which are surely better than mine.
Well, luckily, we were given the numbers on how much fuel is averagely used per lap. 0.48 gallons per lap. Connor Harrington has 12.38 gallons remaining in his car. I did this math when it was 12.43 coming out of turn 2. That is about 24.8 laps of fuel in his car. We have 22 laps. They can make it to the end, but can his tires hold up? First car that went into the pits is Adam Blocker down in 6th. He is going to be our key to see this behind all of them. And then it's Kraus, Orman, and Marquez. We're going to find out. 22 laps to go, 21 laps to go when we go back to green. And it is green right now.
I'm guessing Blocker and company would like to make the moves as early as possible on Yoshikawa, Marquez, Herman and company. We will see as they come out of turn 2. The leaders, of course, pulling away, but they will be compressed quite soon by the massive draft, and of course running on fresh tires. Everyone else bar the top 5.
Yeah, Blocker
Look
going
at
down
that.
to the inside, and Yoshikawa holding him off on the outside. That outside line is so powerful. Blocker's really going to have to punch above his belt right here and really fight to his strengths.
Oh, here comes Crane down the inside, not playing nicely.
Yeah, Crane Crane following that bottom line. Blocker staying on that outside line. And the two guys who went into the pits who need to work together are having a battle with each other. And this is what Harrington and Kraus, Orman, and Marquez like to see. And so is Yoshikawa as well. And, you know, if this would be a great race for Marquez and Yoshikawa because they're both up 14 spots to where they started. And there's our fight for the lead still. Harrington and Kraus still fighting on the inside and outside for the lead. Harrington back into the lead, but here comes Kraus right behind. And speaking of right behind, here comes Blocker on Yoshikawa down to the inside.
So maybe they must be thinking if they do this swap drafting thing over and over, they will save what is necessary. Also, if they pit under the next caution, should we have a caution, they will lose a truckload of track position, no pun intended, and therefore
100%.
You know, they will not have the time to come back. So, man, I love oval racing, you know, and I grew up on oval racing in sim racing wise, especially because of this. The strategies are so exciting, and every race can be turned on its head with the blink of an eye, basically.
Yeah, this race has definitely been a turn on the head. The strategy called by Adam Blocker last round at Zandvoort gave him the win with tire wear. Will this strategy on fuel give him the confidence to really push that car to its limits and catch up to the rest of the field and give him the win on fuel numbers as well? Because Harrington and Kraus are still swapping with each other. Orman right behind him is just sitting there in third and using that draft to really give him a nice tow. And then it's a bit of a gap to Marquez and Blocker. And, well, now just Blocker, who's down the inside of Marquez. Blocker up into fourth.
Next 11 is Orman, who's having you know, a great debut race in the championship. He's looking like a serious contender for the podium. Again, some swap drafting, but Orman is glued to the rear end of the number 10 of Harrington, and here comes Blocker.
Blocker is being very strategic about his approach here. Orman is running that draft package with that little gurney flap on the rear wing, and here comes Adam Blocker right up to the back of Orman right here. And we got a 4-car fight for the lead, but, you know, watching Jesper, I don't believe he is really going to be going for this race win right now, as Kraus and Harrington are just swapping spots. Blocker goes down low on Orman, goes up high early, trying to get into that draft, and him and Adam Crane are really trying to pick apart their strategy right here. 14 laps remaining. Crane onto the inside of Blocker in that first charging position. Crane down to the inside, Blocker onto the outside. They're both catching up to Orman. Crane goes up the track to hold off Blocker. Here comes Blocker in the draft. He's going to stay behind him as Kraus and Harrington still swap spots like they've been doing every lap of this race.
13 to go. Lucky 13, we should say, Austin?
I don't think we would call it lucky in last circumstances. Last time we had a caution in the closing laps of this race was at Phoenix, and I believe it was on lap 13.
Here comes Crane.
Crane gets a good run. Crane onto the inside of Jesper, and this could cause a little bit of panic here in Harrington. Crane gets pushed up the track just a little bit. That dirty air not helping him. Jesper around the outside, still able to hold third place. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all so close together. You can barely fit a Toyota Camry in between them all. And the Camry's not that big of a car. Crane! He is stuck in a box right there. Blocker getting off the throttle and letting him by. And look who's behind Blocker. We haven't talked about Robert Lick's the third at all, as here's Crane once again on the outside of Blocker, as Robert, he's just watching them.
As they fan out, and he's having the best seat in the house, and deep inside I know he thinks that he
Blocker
can have a winning ticket, And here we
comes
go,
Robert.
but he's lifting.
Go.
See, doesn't want to push too hard right now. He's waiting.
Robert playing the patient game as our leaders are not looking at their fuel right now. They've got 6.9 gallons of fuel remaining in their car. Well, that's what Connor Harrington has. So that's the only thing on his dashboard that's not blocked out for us to see. Thank you for having that number up there. As everybody is still going on and racing here. Blocker onto the inside of Crane. Goes back into the draft of Crane as Orman is now launching the attack on the outside of Harrington.
Top 3 are holding on very nicely so far, despite the older tires. So
it's not night and day difference with tire grip,
and it's not a big gap in number in laps. So man.
Oh my gosh, I think we both just inhaled our lifetime supply of air right there. Adam Blocker, Adam Crane, both of them getting very close onto that outside wall, almost making contact with each other as Robert's looking down to the inside of both of them as well, sends it onto the inside, comes up the track, does not get into Blocker right there. Here comes Crane onto the inside of Robert. Gives him a little sidestep, but Robert in that draft is going to be on his outside. This is what Blocker needs to do. Needs for his race to really turn up right here. Goes down to the inside, running that bottom line that has ended so many drivers' races here today. Well, actually, no, 4 drivers' races have had incidents at that bottom line. Especially they cross over that white line. But the 9-time IndyCar champion, he knows what he needs to do as he is following Jesper Orman. That's top 3, side by side once more. Orman's just sitting on that outside line. Harrington and Kraus swapping at the end of each straight right here. It's about to get absolutely wild here at Fontana. Kraus down to the inside of Harrington. Kraus back up into the lead. Blocker getting closer. He's studying these drivers' moves. He's studying on how they're racing. He's getting really hurt by this dirty air of Orman. And here comes Blocker. He lifts off. He had the chance to go down to the inside of Jesper, but he's waiting for the right moment. Jesper on that outside line has been absolutely money as all these drivers who are not running that little gurney flap at the end are really struggling going down and down to the inside to really pass those drivers with that gurney flap on the outside who have a draft advantage ahead of them, as Adam Blocker saying to the outside right here. Trying to catch up to Jesper, and look at that mid-corner line change by Jesper. Changing lines and look down his inside. Adam Crane takes P4. It gives Blocker a little bit of a nose chop right there. Now Blocker onto the inside. Crane on the outside. They're going to go side by side for 4th. Trying to catch up. Blocker cuts ahead of Robert. Robert goes down to the inside. Crane goes down to the middle to try to hold off Robert. Robert down to the inside of Blocker and Crane. Here comes Robert coming out the track. Oh, let's get him the tight squeeze. 4 laps to go.
And they keep on fighting. They keep on not going for the move as they keep on fighting with each other.
4 laps to go. 3.7 gallons in Harrington's tank. He's got enough to the end. Kraus and Harrington still side by side through turns 3 and 4, and they keep up this little swap game as the drivers behind them who went into the pits, as Andrew Wood dives into the pit lane. That's a penalty. I think Wood got out of there, might as a mistake, as the top 3 are battling. 4th, 5th, and 6th are playing this game of chess on when they are needing to go to the end of this race. Kraus dives low on Harrington.
And remember, if a caution comes out right now, it is effectively race over and the order is frozen the moment the caution comes out. So
3 gallons left in Harrington's tank. He's behind Kraus. He's got a great run. Kraus down, up high. Harrington down low. Harrington back into the lead of this race. Well, that's right on board of Orman, who's on that outside line. 2 laps to go now. Here they go onto the outside, as Blocker and Crane trying to catch up with them. Their tires are really worn now. Harrington down low goes Kraus. Harrington into the middle of the track. Here comes Crane and Jesper. White flag in the air. It's last lap here. Harrington, Kraus, Jesper Orman, Crane, Blocker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All within 1 second of each other at the end. White flag. Harrington goes down low. Kraus onto the outside. Harrington trying to hold it off and get that dirty air off on Kraus. He needs that good run right now, heading into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Kraus. Kraus got a great run. Kraus looking onto the inside. Kraus and Harrington side by side, heading into turns 3 and 4 for the last lap. Kraus diving down low. Harrington also diving down low, trying to get that early draft off of Kraus. Jesper Orman's right there. Here comes Harrington. Harrington's got a good run. Harrington's got a good run, heading up to the line. We got a lap car right there. They're going to go side by side the line. It is going to be Kraus by 0.05 of a second.
And the gamble pays off for the teammates.
What a race to the end. And what a... Oh, no. Oh, no.
Big crash between Crane and Blocker towards the end of the race after the checkered flag. And we go.
That's Blocker down low. That's Crane up high. And that's Robert up high as well. And Blocker... Oh, Blocker... Adam... I don't think Adam is happy.
As we see once again the replay of the finish of the race from the chopper, and you can see the run from Connor Harrington wasn't enough. Horman also tried to go for it but couldn't, and you can see that start finish line coming closer and closer and closer, and that's all she wrote for this race.
That is a crazy finish right there. Very crazy final laps, and that gamble to stay out paid off right there as Philip Kraus burns it down on the front straight with Connor Harrington. Both of them very happy as they take a 1-2 for private label.
Should have the race result on our screens right now. There we go. And so it's congratulations to the two teammates, Philip Kraus and Connor Harrington, finished first and second. Jesper Orman, what a race from him on his broadcast season debut. He finishes in third in front of Adam Crane, Robert Maleczka the third, and Adam Blocker. Andrew Marcus also went with the alternative strategy. He gets rewarded with 7th. Aaron McQuarrie in 8th, and another of the alternatives, Nagisa Yoshikawa in 9th. Laura Gerhardt finishes in 10th in front of Chris Willite, Jason Wallot, and Andrew Wood, who had that very late pit stop, which I think also tagged him with a penalty. Tim Williams, Adriano Pinheiro, Matt Olibo, and Alexander van der Zandt 17th. 18th was the Canadian Eric Hunter, and if we scroll down the order, we also have Marco Brasil, of course one of the favorites to win this race. Connection trouble got him all the way down to P19, 12 laps down. Rob Angelnieks, Rashad Craig, David Graybill, and Kevin Boulassa round up your 23 car field of what has been an incredibly tight and competitive race. And now we should have a mystery interview, Austin. There we go.
Yes, we do have an interview, and I believe we are standing by with our race winner, Philip Kraus.
Hey guys, it's me, it's Jesper.
Oh, it's Jesper.
Ooh.
Well, you faked us out with the name, started with P, and
Yeah.
It's all good. You came third here today after a very, you were running down in the pack. You were always up there, but, you know, the gamble to stay out instead of going into the pits. You're one of the 5 cars that stayed out to the end, and you got third. Walk us through your strategy for staying out instead of going into the pits for the last 32-ish laps.
So yeah, I saw that 2 of the Team Talent guys stayed out, and they were fast all day. So I just figured, okay, if I can like pretend that I'm a Team Talent driver, maybe I can stay on the outside and protect my position and their position. And so I can maximize my result, because I was feeling like maybe I was the 7th or 8th or 9th quickest driver out there. Didn't have the top speed that I needed really, but well, it worked out in the end, and tire wear is not that important. So yeah, happy with P3 for sure, and congrats to the Team Talent guys.
It was a great finish for you, 3rd place. And were you? Did it ever come into your mind that you could try to go for the win, or were you just letting them have their own little battle between themselves?
Well, of course, when it comes down to the last turn there, the last 2 turns, of course, if you can, you want to go for the win. Try to time it as well as I could, but I didn't really time it so that I could challenge. I wanted to go on the outside, but it closed up too quickly to, I think it was Connor. So yeah, that's well, P3.
Yeah, it's a great finish for you. Congrats on 3rd. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammate Alexander Van de Sant. We spent 2 hours building the setup earlier tonight, and we had a lot of fun. And yeah, unfortunately, he was he had an incident there, so he was for sure quicker than I was. So he probably deserved.
Yeah, Van de Sant was running very well. Unfortunately, he did have that incident. Well, thank you, Jesper, for joining us in the commentary box. We'll see you next week at Red Bull Ring.
Thanks, Austin and Marco.
And speaking of Marco is standing by, this time with our race winner, Philip Kraus.
Let's say, Austin, let's say we bring in both of them, you know, 1st and 2nd, because...
Right.
I'm sure they both have a lot to tell us. Welcome to the booth, guys. Welcome, Philip. Welcome, Connor. So, you guys seem to us you played a bit of a gamble by staying out, and safe to say that gamble played out quite handsomely in the end.
Yeah, it was definitely. We didn't think that there was going to be that many cars pitting after such a short run. So when we stayed out, we thought we'd have at least 7 or 8 cars, but we only had 5. So it was kind of worrying a bit that they'd get back to us. But we swapped really well together, Connor and I, and Jesper looked like he just didn't have enough top end to get to us into 1 or 3. So we were able to hold on and just fight between ourselves.
Connor, were you guys okay with fuel when you stayed out, or did you need that swap draft also to save a little bit?
We were good on fuel after that pit stop with like 35 to go on that caution. So yeah, we were good at the end. You know, the goal was just to stay up front. You know, I'd rather race my teammate than race somebody that's not my teammate. So if I got to finish second to my teammate, I'm definitely okay with that.
And Philip, if I may ask you, what do you think was the reason why the guys in the back, despite having a bit fresher tires and much safer on fuel, what is the reason you think they weren't able to get back to you? Is it just because they were very busy fighting? At least from our perspective, it seemed like they were very, very busy fighting with each other. What do you think, Philip?
Watching back the last few laps, the 2 guys who were closest to us on tires were definitely fighting each other pretty hard. So I don't think they were really going to get to us when they were fighting each other that hard for, I think it was 4th position at the time. If they had singled out, maybe they would have got us, but I don't know really. It's hard to tell without it happening.
Connor, great performance on the ovals. As Austin was saying earlier, we are going back to the road courses next week. It's going to be Red Bull Ring. Are you happy to go back on the road courses? And are you and Philip, happy about it and confident, I should say, about the Red Bull Ring, a new track in iRacing?
Well, we just did 1,000 kilometers of the Red Bull Ring in the P2 this weekend. So Phil and I both split that up in IVRA. So we definitely have seen every inch of the racetrack at this point. So it'll be really interesting to see how the tire strategy plays out with those really fast straightaways, to see if maybe the red tires hold on, or if it's a primary tire race, which will always be exciting. With the new updates they've made, there's been a couple races where the prime has actually been a viable tire. So we'll see what happens next week. Hopefully we can get another private label one too.
Awesome. Well, it's been great having you guys in the booth with us tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank? Philip first, and then Connor.
Just everyone at Private Label Team Hype, Ethica, Tomahawk Shades, and obviously Private Label itself for slapping their logos on our car. An honor.
I just have to second that. Everything that Tommy Milner and Ty Stover do has been fantastic. We love being a part of this team, and we've really enjoyed the success and the support that they've given us. So
We
hopefully,
love Tommy out here.
we do love Tommy. So we're just really hopeful to we hope to continue and stay up on the podium.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys, and hopefully we have a chat with you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Connor Harrington and race winner Philip Cross, Austin. So we said, a lot of things about Red Bull Ring. Not the track that comes to mind, of course, when you think about IndyCar racing. But of course, the beautiful thing about sim racing, we are not constrained by travel cost and viability. We can race wherever we want, and it's going to be very interesting, I think. An interesting track for these cars.
It is really going to be an interesting track for these cars and how these drivers are going to be taking to the track. Red Bull Ring is not like you said, it's not the typical IndyCar track. We usually do not go to tracks like Red Bull Ring, but this race is going to be very interesting to see on how drivers tackle it. And like they were saying, the primary tires might become a factor later on in the race. We might see another primary tire second stint take it to the end of the podium and to the win, and we might see more drivers take to that primary tire as well after what Adam Blocker did in Zandvoort. But all eyes are on the private label 1-2 here today from Kraus and Harrington. What a race they did. What a strategy and what a gamble the top three all did to get into the lead of this race and then to stay there. It was a dominating performance right there, and what a race we had here today at Auto Club Speedway. Always classic to come back here and always a wonderful time out here on track.
Absolutely. And yes, this is all for us. Thank you very much for joining us. Sorry again about the little technical issue we had midway through the race, unfortunately outside of our control, but thankfully we didn't miss anything, and the racing was exciting from beginning to end. Austin, take it away.
Thank you everyone for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the iRacing IndyCar Open Series here at Auto Club Speedway. I've been joined by Marco Babanera. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.